LoveLore Library. Chapter 581, Qin Chen's family members v. Fair, have you forgotten how you have treated him for years? If it weren't you, would he have lived such a good life in the Qin family? What is wrong with letting him take some medicine and donating some blood? The lady frowned. Qin Fair was stunned. But, the physician said that I am only a little sick now and will not die. Fair. The lady of the Qin family, when you held Qin Fair's hand. That person from the Mu family wanted you to marry Nan Xian. The Mu family's Nan Xian has great talent. The old master of the Mu family is still alive. So, you being his concubine is enough. Qin Fair's hand stiffened. She did not speak as she pursed her lips lightly. When you continued. Do you think that the Mu family wants a sickly person? It is because your father has promised that your illness can be cured. Otherwise, if you can't bear Nan Xian's children, it's impossible that the Mu family will let you enter the manor even just as a concubine. Qin Fair looked down doubtfully. But, Brother Qin Chen, Fair, think over it. Qin Chen will not die so easily due to some medicine he ingests and some blood he donates. At most, his cultivation will be affected by the overdose of medicine. But we, the Qin family, can also guarantee him a good life without having to worry about food, clothing, and money. We don't have to feel sorry for him. On the contrary, without the Qin family, he would have grown up in a secular world, which is completely nothing. He would not have been able to enjoy such glory in this life. The medicine being fed to the pill popper was obviously not good, but it would just affect his cultivation. It would not be too harmful. Therefore, when you did not understand why Qin Chen was so desperate to leave the Qin family. After leaving the Qin family, what could he do? Now that he had suffered enough, he would definitely come back. Mother. Qin Fair held Wen Ye's hand and said softly, then you shall promise me that you will treat him better after he comes back. Don't always humiliate him. He has done too much for the Qin family. Moreover, I don't want to see him being bullied. Okay. Wen Yu smiled. As long as you take your medicine obediently, we will not treat Qin Chen badly. Qin Fair let out a sigh of relief. If only the Qin family could treat Qin Chen better. Then her sorrow would lessen a little bit. I'm sorry, Chainer. I don't have a healthy body, but I want to marry him. You are so kind. You will understand me, right? Even though she comforted herself in her heart, Qin Fair's eyes were full of regret. If it was just for his body, she could no longer use the so-called drug primer. Now, she could not refuse. Wen Ye's eyes darkened. She remembered the time her father brought the portrait of the young master Nan Xian. She was immediately attracted to the beautiful man in the portrait at first glance. She had seen such a beautiful man for the first time and had also fallen in love for the first time. Even if she had never seen him. Since she saw the portrait, she was destined to fall in love with him. Thus, she could not refute her mother's words. But she would repay Qin Chen by treating him even better to compensate her faults. What did you say? Within the Mu family, Mu Ling suddenly opened his eyes. He asked coldly, that girl has married someone before. Su Yi has found her, and she ruined the Tang family. Tang Yin revolted and likes her now. What is this nonsense? He had just been away for a while. How could so many things have happened? Chapter 582, Qin Chen's family members 6. The Tang family was ruined. The fiancé he found for Nan Xian liked her rival, the girl. Han Feng said respectfully, young manor master, the news that I have obtained are all true. Mu Ling felt a headache coming, so he rubbed his temples. This son of mine, I really don't know what is on his mind. He has bad taste. He fell in love with a deserted wife. He can't compare with me, both Sui and Qing Yan are so good. As for my son, how can he stoop so low to such extent? Allowing a deserted wife to become a concubine in the Mu family. This. Wouldn't the people ridicule the whole Tianshan manor and the Mu family? It was even more ridiculous that Tang Yin loved someone else. Did she love the deserted wife? This woman is really capable. Mu Ling sneered. It was only Sui and Nan Xian at first. Now even the Tang family's Tang Yin is like this too. The fiancé that I had chosen for Nan Xian has turned out to be like this. Han Feng was silent for a while. Young master, there are some things that I have never understood. The Tang family is not strong in the reclusive world. Why, you don't need to understand these, Mu Ling said sarcastically. You just need to know that all the things I have done were for Nan Xian. But Sui and Nan Xian do not appreciate it. There was only one thing that, unfortunately, only the Tang family's second master who had passed away and the great elder of the Tang family knew. Even Tang Luo was unsure about the number of Tang Yin's secrets. And because the Tang family did not understand, so they did not pay too much attention to her. Otherwise, Tang Yin would not have run away. Such a pity, Mu Ling was regretful. Within the Mu family, no matter how he doted on Qing Yan, the only son he valued was Nan Xian. No matter how great Qing Yan was, her son was foppish and often broke the rules. He was not as talented as Nan Xian. Nan Xian was his only hope. He naturally wanted to control his life. Of course, being counted on and being fond of are two separate matters. If it was about being fond of, he liked Qing Yan and her daughter more. They were intimate and sensible. They are also sweet talkers and well-behaved. The only disadvantage was that, they were not capable. He only put his hopes on Nan Xian because he had no choice. Forget it. If Tang Yin doesn't marry, so be it. Oh. I think the lady in the manor master's Tianshan manor is quite good. I will talk to the manor master about her hand in marriage to Nan Xian next time. If Tang Yin ran away, he would just find another one. After all, any girl would be better than a deserted wife. After Han Feng heard of the lattice name, his body trembled. But, my lord, the lady, she is a bit ugly and obese. She was already 20 years old but no one had asked for her hand in marriage. Superficial. Mu Ling yelled, a superficial man only looks at the woman's appearance. The manor master was fond of the lady regardless of her looks. If we don't acquaint ourselves with the manor master, the Mu family won't be able to break away from the old man's control. Han Feng remained silent. If you were not so superficial, you would not have fallen in love with the young lady at first sight. You also would not have been so in love with Lady Qing Yan. That deserted wife in the secular world. Han Feng was silent for a while before he asked again. Mu Ling was anxious. That woman will let us be ashamed. Nevertheless, Sui still likes her. If I don't accept her, Sui will not come back. So, make her, change her name, only then she can be married to Nan Xian, as his concubine. Chapter 583, Qin Chen's family members 7. She could not use her former name so that the people from Tianshan Manor would know about her past. If she really loved Nan Xian, it was not a big deal to change her name. By the way, she could stop all contact with her family and she must never meet them in her life anymore. I don't want the people from the Mu family to be entangled with the people from the reclusive world. Moreover, not everyone can be a concubine in the Mu family. Yes, young master. Han Feng's gaze was filled with contempt. All of the women in this world have impossible dreams. The young master was willing to allow her to be his concubine. Even if she was asked to change her name, cut contact with her family. She might be willing to do other things too if she was asked to. Before that, Han Feng had only asked around about Feng Ruking's past. He did not know that Rong Yen came from Fengyun Manor. He did not even know about the incident where Nan Xian was so furious that he had rushed to the Divine Herbs sect. Supreme Princess Manor. Siyi sat at a bench not far away from where Feng Ruqing was. She smiled as she looked at Feng Ruqing, who was training the spirit beasts. Her eyes followed Feng Ruking's every movement. Yes. I'm so satisfied with my daughter-in-law. No wonder the White Phoenix likes her so much. He's always so picky. That face, that body, and the way she looks when she is training the spirit beasts. It seems like she has no shortcomings. Su, Feng Ruqing turned and saw Suyi, who was sitting not far away. She wanted to say something, but Suyi frowned before she could do so. Call me mother. Feng Ruqing did not know what to say. Suyi was calm and nonchalant. She seemed serious. If I had a daughter, she would be as old as you. It's fine even if you address me as mother. Unfortunately, I don't have a daughter. Feng Ruking's face darkened. Then I should call you Aunt Su. I have a son. What if I introduced him to you as your future husband? I have somebody I like. Then, it'll give you the White Phoenix as a present. Will you call me mother then? If not, what else do you want? I'm not even sure if Nan Xian gave her the dudu. What if that boy forgot about it? What about my gift for her when I am to be introduced to her for the first time? Feng Ruqing smiled happily. I like Nan Xian. Suyi was stunned. Somehow, she felt that Feng Ruqing was testing her patience. Has Feng Ruqing found out about my relationship with Nan Xian? That were mother and son. Mother. A soft voice came from behind Feng Ruqing when Suyi fell into deep thought. Feng Ruqing turned and a soft and petite body rushed into her embrace. The person seemed like she had been wronged. Mother, do you just want my father, the state preceptor? You go to the palace to meet him every day. It's been a long time since you spent time with me, Qing Han. Why did you come out? Feng Ruqing patted Qing Han's small head. She squinted. Am I hallucinating? Somehow I feel that Qing Han has grown up a little, recently. Although it is not a solid breakthrough, she can contain her presence now. If I had investigated it carefully before, I could still sense that Qing Han's presence is different from a human's. Now, Qing Han's presence has completely disappeared. She's just like a normal girl. Suyi was stunned. Nan Xian. Nan Xian is so bad that he has even made her pregnant and now they have a child. But, he still has not married her yet. This kid seems like she is already 4 years old. How old was Qing'er 4 years ago? More importantly, Qing'er has given birth to a child for him. But, he just stood there and did nothing while watching her marry another person. My son, the son whom I'm so proud of. When did he turn into such a villain? Chapter 584, Pathetic Han Feng. I've mother, do we have a guest? Qing Han's eyes widened and she turned towards Suyi. That beautiful aunt smells so familiar. It seems like she has a similar presence as my father, the state preceptor. The little girl bit her finger as she was stunned. Pretty aunt, have we met before? Her soft voice made Suyi's face bloom like a flower. She smiled brightly. You should call me grandma. Qing Han was skeptical. She thought for a while before she spoke again, but, you're so young. You can't be much older than my mother. What if I call you pretty aunt? No woman hated to be praised. Even if Suyi did not age these past 20 years, she was all smiles after she heard what Qing Han had said. My son is older than your mother. You should call me grandma. Sui did not notice the twinkle in Feng Ruqing's eyes when she was talking. Feng Ruqing did not say anything. She smiled and looked at Sui's familiar facial features. Qin Han, you can just call Aunt Sue, Grandma, since she has said so. All right. Qin Han threw herself into Sui's embrace. Her face was pinkish fair. She smiled brightly. She was obedient and sweet. Grandma. Sui's heart softened the moment she hugged the young girl. It seemed like she had melted. Although she was still angry at Nan Xian in her heart, all of this could not be compared with the way the young girl had addressed her. Qin Han, where's Fu Qin? Feng Ruqing cocked an eyebrow and asked. Qin Han pouted. Brother Fu Qin did not want to come out. Feng Ruqing was speechless. That boy was uneasy among strangers. He would never leave the medium given that Sui was there. Sui was stunned. You still have an elder brother? Yes, Brother Fu Qin is very fierce. He's as fierce as I. Now, Brother Fu Qin wants to become fiercer so that nobody can bully Mother anymore. They did not want to endure that kind of experience again. Feng Ruqing's heart was warmed. Fu Qin never said much to her, but he always proved his love through his actions. Qing'er, can I bring along Qin Han for a stroll? Sui stopped talking for a while. Don't worry. I'll protect her. Feng Ruqing subconsciously glanced at Qin Han. She actually wanted to refuse Sui's suggestion. But she could not refuse after seeing Qin Han's eagerness. Qin Han, you can go out with Grandma Sui. But remember not to eat anything without thinking, especially raw things. Feng Ruqing warned her again. All right, Mother. Qin Yan smiled brightly. It's fine even if I don't eat raw things. I can cook them before I eat them. She always listened to her mother's advice. Grandma, can you create a fire? Qin Han turned and looked at Sui, seriously, before asking her. Sui did not understand the situation. But she still raised her fingers and a spark of fire appeared on her fingertips. It was too late for Feng Ruqing to stop them. My spiritual force can be turned to fire. Little Qin Han, do you want to play with fire? My mother doesn't allow me to eat raw things. Grandma, if you know how to create fire, we can burn, bake, cook or fry them. Feng Ruqing somehow felt that she should not let that girl go with Sui. Qin Han, you cannot eat anything that way either. They are not washed. Qin Han was hesitant for a moment before she turned and asked Sui, Grandma, do you know how to make water? Chapter 585, Pathetic Han Feng Tu. Sui was quiet for a while. I don't know. But I can learn how to do that. All right. Then I can have some snacks when we go out. Snacks? Feng Ruqing's face darkened. This girl treats the spirit herbs as main food and the villains as snacks. Qing'er, don't worry. I'll look after little Qin Han for you. Sui smiled. Then, I'll bring her back to you without a scratch on her. Feng Ruqing was speechless. I'm not worried about Qin Han, but I'm worried about the others. Mother. Qin Han threw herself into Feng Ruqing's embrace. She felt that she was wronged. I have never been outside with Brother Fu Qin. Let me go out and take a look. Feng Ruqing lowered her eyes. She gazed upon the tears in Qin Han's eyes. Her heart softened. Then you should listen to Grandma Sui. Don't go anywhere else and don't eat anything before thinking. Yes, Mother. Qin Han stopped crying and started to smile when Feng Ruqing finally gave her consent. Feng Ruqing could not stop herself from pinching Qin Han's cute face. Quickly, be on your way now. Qin Han kissed Feng Ruqing's cheek. Then, she let go of her hands and ran towards Sui in small strides. She held Sui's hand and walked out of the princess manor with a bright smile. Mother. Fu Chen appeared out of nowhere after Sui had left. He bit his lip and seemed stubborn. Why didn't you come out just now? Do you want to go out with them? Feng Ruqing asked as she bent down and stroked Fu Chen's small face. Fu Chen shook his head. I don't want to go, mother. Can you not leave us behind like the 9th emperor, ever? Feng Ruqing's fingers trembled. She looked at Fu Chen's small and pale face. She was sad. I'm not sure, maybe not. Fu Chen tugged at her sleeves and his grip tightened. He lowered his eyes slowly. Is it because I was too stingy before and you want to leave us behind? Fu Chen, humans were not like trees and flowers. Humans had feelings. She had spent quite a long time with those two spirit herbs and they had quite a strong bond between them. If I am faced with danger again in the future, I would never burden them. Fu Chen, I promise you that I will become stronger. I'll never leave you when I become stronger. There was a pathetic smile on Fu Chen's face. But the 9th emperor was so strong and still, he left us behind. There was only Small Black who was their family member in the lonely divine herbs sect other than the 9th emperor. The 9th emperor had been with them for so long. But he left. That day, he promised that he would return and look after them after he had rescued his lover. Who would have thought that he would never return? Mother, Qin Han and I are not as timid as you think. We are afraid of nothing. We're just scared that we will be left behind again. Fu Chen raised his head. His small face was covered in tears and Feng Ruqing did not know when that had happened. His small face was pale and filled with grief. I'm not afraid of anything. I'm just afraid that I will be left behind again. Mother, Fu Chen held onto her sleeves tightly. Qin Han and I are neither humans nor spirit beasts. But we have spiritual wisdom now. We will be panicked too. We feel pain too. Qin Han is there always. I'm afraid that she will cry, so I do not look for you. In the future, please don't leave us behind. We'll face the danger with you no matter how dangerous it is. Chapter 586, Pathetic Han Feng. 3 Humans are not trees or flowers. Humans have feelings and emotions. But the trees and flowers have feelings and emotions too. Before they transformed into humans, they could not express their feelings and emotions. But it did not mean that they did not have feelings and emotions. Now, they have become humans and act just like humans. Feng Ruqing suddenly extended her hand and pulled Fu Chen into her embrace. She hugged him tightly. Fu Chen hugged her back. The young girl was trembling in his embrace. He was unable to breathe, but he still did not push her away. No. I won't be like that in the future. She thought that she was doing a favor for them. She was unwilling to let Fu Chen and Qin Han make unnecessary sacrifices. She just wanted them to survive. But she had truly forgotten that this is not what they want. Fu Chen's facial expression softened and he smiled warmly. Mother, you can still bully me like how you did before. It's because I'm much more willing to be bullied by you rather than lose you. But please don't spank me. I'm no longer a small kid. I'll feel ashamed. Feng Ruqing released the boy from her embrace and pinched his small, fair face. You look just like a small kid. Fu Chen pouted. I'm 1,000 years old. I know everything. For example, I could only have a little brother or a little sister if you and father, the state preceptor, sleep on the same bed and kiss each other. Feng Ruqing was speechless. Yes, that's right. You need to hug each other too. If not, you won't have any babies. Feng-Ruching did not know how to respond to that. How should I explain to Fu Qin that humans cannot have kids if they just hugged and kissed each other? Princess, Luli rushed in from outside. She saw the little boy standing next to Feng-Ruching and she suddenly stopped. Then, she said, Princess, there's a guest. The guest said that there's some good news. Luli did not know about Fu Chen's strength. But, she knew that Qin Han could strangle the spirit warriors from the Four Kingdoms. So, that boy's strength must be powerful too. No wonder they're my master's spirit beasts. Who is it? I don't know. He mentioned that he comes from the Mu family. Princess, do you know him? The Mu family. Feng-Ruching frowned slightly and was quiet for a while. Show him in. She had never heard of the Mu family. But, it's good news. She was curious as to what kind of good news he would bring to her. Outside of the princess manor. Han Feng was tired of waiting. But, he had come all the way to send the betrothal gifts to the princess, so he forced himself to wait patiently. After a short while, he saw the palace maid who had gone into the princess manor to inform about his arrival. He asked, coldly, where's the princess? She's just a princess from an insignificant royal family. Why did she not come out to greet me? Luli frowned slightly. Her face darkened when she was faced with Han Feng's unfriendly question. The princess asked you to enter the manor. Han Feng seemed cold and distant now. Those in the reclusive world really had no manners, and even the palace maid was arrogant. After I marry Feng-Ruching, I'll definitely ask Lady Qin Yan to teach her manners. Han Feng did not bother to care about Luli's manners when he recalled the reason he went there. He entered the manor in big strides before he scanned the interior of the manor. His cold gaze was suddenly met with a figure who was as beautiful as a picture. He stared, fixated by the sight. The young girl looked lazy and seemed like a person without any bones. She leaned back against the chair. Her appearance was so dazzling that it could captivate everyone in this world. Han Feng was prepared before he came. But, he was still caught breathless when he saw the beautiful girl. At that moment, he finally understood why young Master Nan Xian had fallen in love with a woman of lowly status. Chapter 587, Pathetic Han Feng. For this kind of beautiful person would surely be the first beauty in Tianshan Manor also. You requested an audience with me. What kind of good news do you have for me? Feng-Ruching's eyes narrowed and lazily sat up on the chair. She extended her hand and grabbed the spirit rabbit, which was serving a plate of fruits next to her. She pulled the spirit rabbit into her embrace. She used her long and slim fingers to stroke the spirit rabbit's fur. There was a soft smile, playing on her lips. Han Feng recomposed himself. His face was cold. It would be a big deal for you. I came on my young manor master's order. He said that he wants you to marry into the Mu family as a concubine. There is usually no betrothal gift for concubines. But, my young master liked Fu Qin, kick him out of the princess manor. Feng-Ruching ordered angrily before Han Feng could finish his sentence. All of a sudden, numerous vines appeared under Han Feng's feet. He was pulled out of the manor in a swoosh. What was left was his pathetic voice, which lingered in the air for a long while. Our young manor master wants you to change your name and you have to break your bond with your family. Then, boom. A muffled voice. The whole world was quiet. There is always someone bad who wants to separate the state preceptor and me. Feng-Ruching laughed coldly. Snow Wolf, Beery, close the door. Don't ever let him step into the princess manor again. What kind of people are they? I just want to marry the state preceptor. I don't even know who the young master from the Mu family is. He better leave me alone. Outside the door. Han Feng was thrown to the floor. He wanted to get up and enter the manor again. But he soon saw that the door of the prince's manor was harshly closed in front of him. It nearly crushed his nose. He was so angry that his eyes were clouded. He turned and saw a person in a long robe as white as the snow. The person stood in front of him. He was stunned as he looked up at the person. His eyes suddenly squeezed his eyes close. A handsome face suddenly appeared in his eyes. The man seemed calm and there was no emotion in his eyes. He was so calm that he seemed to be inhumanely cold. Even the wind was mixed with a gust of coldness. Young master, Han Feng's teeth were chattering. He was trembling and he almost lay down because he was afraid. You came to look for Qing'er? Nan Xian's voice was soft but emotionless. I came with the order of the young manor master, all right. Nan Xian was calm. It's all right. Han Feng subconsciously breathed a sigh of relief. His whole body immediately froze before he could say anything more. I said the other day that if anyone from the Mu family came for her, if they dare to hurt her, they need to be killed. If she is unharmed, then they need to leave without a leg. Han Feng's face twitched several times. Young master. I came just to deliver the messages from the young manor master. I did not hurt her. It's true. Yes. Nan Xian's voice was calm. Does the Mu family think that I'm an untrustworthy person? Boom. Han Feng felt a great pain in his leg. His leg felt useless now. He was forced to his knee with a thud. There was cold sweat all over his face because of the pain. He did not even dare to raise his head to look at Nan Xian. The man in front of him was just like God. He was so powerful that nobody could resist him. You're welcome to come and look for Qing'er again next time, or you could ask him to come as well. Han Feng gritted his teeth. He stood up from the ground shakily. His leg was still there but he could not feel it anymore. He could just walk forward by dragging the useless leg along. Han Feng thought that this incident would soon be over when he left the Princess Manor. Chapter 588, Pathetic Han Feng v. He met Sui just as he started walking. He had a look of astonishment on his face. He stopped walking and dared not move. Han Feng, why do you look so pitiful? Sui had a tonghulu in her hand and she looked at Han Feng, shocked. That's right. Why are you here? Han Feng was trembling and he could not bring himself to explain. Sui looked in the direction from where Han Feng came. She was shocked. You came for Qing'er? This lame uncle came for my mom. Qing Han appeared. She raised her small head and her big eyes blinked like stars. They were cute. Xiao Qing, there. You close your eyes later. Grandma has something to do with this lame uncle. Sui patted Wing Han's small head as she said gently. Fine. All right. Qing Han closed her eyes obediently. She stood behind Sui, unmoving. Sui looked at Han Feng again. The smile on her face disappeared. She seemed cold but her face was calm. She extended her hands. Numerous spiritual forces gathered and they turned into razor blades and pierced Han Feng's body. Han Feng gritted his teeth and silently endured all the attacks. It was because he understood that his consequence would be worse if he resisted more. The fresh blood gushed from his body. His clothes were torn. He seemed so pathetic and pitiful. Get lost. If I ever see you here again in Luyun Kingdom, Sui smiled softly. You won't get away this easily anymore. Han Feng lowered his head. He clenched his fists. Thank you, lady, for sparing my life. He was seriously injured, but he still needed to thank her for sparing his life. How pathetic was that? Moreover, he had only come to deliver the betrothal gifts. He did no harm. Why do this mother and son treat me so cruelly? Han Feng gritted his teeth. He limped away with his useless leg. He endured all the pain and walked toward the entrance of the imperial city. I'll never come to Luyun Kingdom in my whole life again. I'll never come here even if my young manor master forces me. It's not a deed which could be done by a human. Lady, young master Qin Chen is back. Their voices lingered in the Qin family's manor. Qin Fei was happy and she immediately put down the cup in her hand. She walked outside quickly with the help of a servant. She could see the youth who looked like a pine tree from afar. He had not changed. He still looked the same as he was a few years ago. He was cold and distant. Xiao Qin, you're back. Qin Fei's gaze was soft and gentle. There was a soft smile on her lips. She walked toward Qin Chen slowly. Finally, Qin Chen's gaze fell on her face at that moment. His gaze was still cold without any emotion. Even if she treated her nicely all those past years, he was still like that. But Qin Fei understood that Qin Chen's personality was like that. He was always cold and distant toward everyone. So, she could not make him smile brightly just like any other youth his age, no matter how nice she treated him. You want to marry Nan Xian as his concubine? The youth asked directly. Qin Fei was stunned. She bit her lip. Father arranged that, don't be his concubine. Go and persuade him. Qin Chen's voice was cold. Qin Fei lowered her head. She clenched the handkerchief in her hand tightly. Xiao Qin, I have no other choice. I really have no other choice. It's because I want to marry him. Xiao Qin, could you help me? I really want to marry him. She raised her head and there were tears in her beautiful eyes. But she was so stubborn that she did not want her tears to fall from her eyes. Chapter 589. Pathetic Han Feng 6. Qin Chen closed his eyes softly. After a while, he opened his eyes again. His gaze was still cold as usual. It was cold, so cold that it sent a chill right into one's bones. I understand now. It was only Qin Fei who did not bully or humiliate him in the Qin family. He had given her one last chance. But she did not accept it. Qin Chen's gaze was much determined. He seemed cold. He did not allow anybody to destroy Xiao Qin's happiness. That was what he would protect even if he had to sacrifice everything. Qin Chen, what do you mean? When you heard what Qin Chen had said when she came out afterward. She was soon infuriated. Fei is destined to go to the Mu family. What's your meaning by asking her not to go there? I know. Is it because you have fallen in love with Fei? You don't want her to become another man's woman. I tell you now. Stop dreaming. You're just an adopted son in our family. Who are you to dream of marrying my daughter? Mother. Qin Fei quickly held Wen Ye's hand. She frowned slightly. Don't talk nonsense. Chainer only treats me as his elder sister. Xiao Chen would be in trouble if you talk like that. Father will hear about it. Father dislikes Xiao Chen. If mother says anything more, father will surely be angry with Xiao Chen. Qin Chen scanned Qin Fei coldly. Then, he fixed his gaze on her. You're not my elder sister. Qin Fei was stunned. Why is Xiao Chen behaving like that? No. Father will never let him go if he behaves like that. Fei, did you hear? He has never treated you as an elder sister. He is dreaming of marrying you. But, Qin Chen stopped talking for a while. I don't like you. He was not indebted to Qin Feier. Qin Feier would never survive until now if it was not for Qin Chen as a drug primer. He wanted to advise her because Qin Feier had never bullied him. Qin Feier's face darkened. She clenched her fists tightly. Her facial expression worsened. You bastard! What nonsense are you talking about? Our Feier is so exceptional. There are so many people who like her in this world. You said that because of your pride and self-esteem, given that you'll never be with her in your life. If not, why didn't you allow her to be a concubine? When you was outraged. If Qin Chen liked Qin Feier, when you would think that he was aiming for something that he would never get, she would surely be very angry. But, she was angrier now that Qin Chen said he did not like Qin Feier. Feier's body is weak. But, what's wrong with her? How could that bastard look down on our Feier? Mother, stop talking now. Qin Feier's facial expression worsened. Do you think that I'm not humiliated enough? Xiao Chen will always be my younger brother. Chapter 590, Pathetic Han Feng 7, It's fine as long as you understand. When you smiled and continued talking as if no one else was around. Nan Xian would only fall in love with that kind of plump girl if he was blind. After you're married into the family, nobody would beat you given that you're so beautiful. Even if his wife is the one from Shenyu Manor. At least, we could also have the same status as the Mu family. We could do what they can too. Qin Feier smiled softly. She did not say anything more. She raised her head as she wanted to look for Qin Chen. It was only then she realized that that youth had left without saying goodbye. She felt dejected. Feier, Qin Chen is just a white-eyed wolf. You don't have to treat him so well. Look at how he treated you just now. When Yu was quite angry seeing how Qin Feier cared about Qin Chen. Qin Feier laughed bitterly. After all, we're the one who has treated him badly first. It's normal if he hates us. Moreover, now that I can be married into the Mu family and he's back too, Qin Chen must have said that out of anger. He must care about me as his elder sister in his heart. If not, he would not have rushed back home immediately after hearing the news of my deteriorating health. But, that boy, mother. Qin Feier held Wen Ye's hand. Have you forgotten what you have promised me? We need to treat him better this time. We cannot treat him harshly anymore. Don't ever give him food which has gone bad. Our Qin family is not that poor. Wen Yu was infuriated. I'm angry just by looking at his face. Our Qin family raised him but he always seems so cold and distant. It feels like we're the ones who are indebted to him. My younger brother is born like that. He is always cold and distant. Don't you know that? He treats everyone the same. He doesn't only treat us like that. He won't change even if he marries a wife someday. Why are you bothered about those things? When Yu opened her mouth while looking at Qin Feier's unsatisfied face. But, she did not say anything in the end. It's fine. I'll forgive him because of you. Qin Feier smiled and sighed softly. Qin Chen was withdrawn since young. He had been in the Qin family for so long yet, she had never seen him smile even once. She just did not know whether anyone in this world could make him smile. Maybe, there might not be one. She was the closest to Qin Chen and she could not even warm his heart. Let alone the others. If there was someone like that, she might not be able to accept that either. Qin Chen returned to his room and took out a jade hairpin from his sleeves. He had taken it from Feng Ruking's jewelry box when he left. Hence, it was like she was still there by his side. Xiao Qing. I don't have any other relatives in this world. I only have you. So, I'll definitely protect you even if I have to sacrifice everything. Nobody will be able to hurt the people you love. I'll be your sword and kill everyone you hate. I'll kill each and every enemy for you. So, I must become stronger. I want to be so powerful that nobody can destroy your happiness. The youth looked out of the window. His cold face was warmed by the sunlight. His smile was clear and bright like the sun. He was no longer withdrawn and cold. There was someone who could warm the frozen sun after all. There was also someone who was the sunlight in his heart, making his grief go away. Chapter 591, The Princess Elopes with the Palace Maid. Daylight appeared all of a sudden. At the back hill, Feng-Ruching walked out again from another cultivation session. She could feel the strength increase in her body. There was a soft smile in her eyes. I'm finally making a breakthrough to Intermediate Spirit Warrior tier. She did not make any breakthrough since the day she left the Forest of Spirit Beasts. Luckily, she had broken the barrier and reached a whole new level. She walked down the back hill and she could see that Feng Ying was waiting for her in the manor. There was a row of girls standing behind Feng Ying. The girls' eyes were bright and they had cute freckles on their faces, seemingly eager. A girl in green clothes stood at the far front of the row. Her face was much exquisite compared to the other girls. She lightly bit her lip and seemed withdrawn. One thing about her that was the same as the others was that there were freckles on her face too. Her coldness disappeared the moment she saw Feng-Ruching. Nervousness and even a tinge of shyness replaced the coldness in the depth of her eyes. Feng-Ruching was suspicious. What happened recently? I saw many men and women with freckles when I go out. Now, even the servants of Fengyun Manor look like that too. Although freckles are cute, it seems that there are just too many people with freckles. Feng Ying said respectfully, Manor Lady, this is the order from Great Elder Lei Yun. I don't understand it too. That's right. This is a guardian from the Fengyun clan, Hong Yu. The Great Elder has sent her to protect you. If you have anyone you want to beat up in the future, you can ask Hong Yu to do so for you to prevent your hands from getting dirty. Feng-Ruching did not know how to respond to that. They found me a fighter instead of a servant. Yes, that's right. The other girls are spirit warriors too. Regular people cannot beat them. Feng-Ruching was speechless. They're really sent here to be my guards. In fact, Lei Yun would never send ordinary girls to protect Feng-Ruching. Those girls were also elites among the disciples in Fengyun Manor. Their talents were exceptional even if they were in the reclusive world. Guardian Feng Ying, Feng-Ruching coughed twice. I don't need any protection from anybody. Aside from the 2-tier, 5 spirit beasts in her manor, they were also Qing Han and Fu Qin. Nobody could beat them. Feng Ying replied seriously, Manor Lady. They're not here to protect you. They're here to beat up somebody on your behalf. Feng-Ruching remained quiet. Moreover, they have come voluntarily to take care of you. They're not forced by Fengyun Manor. If you're unwilling to accept them, they would be heartbroken and sad. You're always so nice to the girls. You wouldn't want that, right? Feng Ying smiled. Great Elder Lei Yun had mentioned it before. The manor lady did not favor the men, but she had always treated the girls nicely. If they wanted her to keep the girls, they must make her feel compassionate toward them. Surely, if Tang Yin had heard what they said, she would cry devastatingly in Nailan Jing's embrace. Feng-Ruching did care about girls. The 2 servants who were serving her were the best examples. Moreover, they were women, just like her. So, she would be gentle toward them. But, there were 2 exceptions. One, those who were her enemies. Another was Tang Yin. Tang Yin would never forget how Feng-Ruching threw her out of the princess manor several times. Chapter 592. The princess elopes with the palace maid too. She was never that cruel toward the other girls. But, it seemed like she had never treated Tang Yin nicely. Was it because of Tang Yin's lack of height and her small breasts? Feng Ruqing turned her head slowly. Her gaze fell on those girls' freckled faces. She was quiet for a while. Finally, she nodded her head slightly. Fine. All of you can stay here. There are a lot of things we're lacking here, but the one thing we have in abundance is money. It's not a problem to have more people here. Yes, manor lady. The palace maids were excited. They peeked at Feng Ruqing from the corner of their eyes. Great Elder told them before that the manor lady was very beautiful. It seemed to be the truth. She was captivating. The most important thing was that they heard that the manor lady was extremely talented. They could make a breakthrough during their cultivation quickly simply because they had used numerous spirit herbs from Fengyun Manor, and they did their cultivation in the sacred land of cultivation in Fengyun Manor. However, the manor lady grew up in the reclusive world. From what they had heard, she had made a breakthrough to intermediate spirit warrior tier in only 1 year. They would surely attain great achievements if they stayed with the manor lady. Manor lady, Hong Yu was shy. She was not withdrawn and distant like how she was with Tang Yu a few months ago. She seemed shy. At last, you're back. On that day, Tang Yu had forced herself into a position which she had no right to claim in the first place. Hong Yu was even demoted to be a servant. She never left Fengyun Manor no matter how difficult her life had become. She believed that both the manor master and manor lady would return to Fengyun Manor. So, she did not leave Fengyun Manor. Luckily, she did not give up there and then. At last, the manor lady did return to the manor. Hence, she did not feel like she had wasted her time no matter how hard it was before. She could be somebody as long as they were back to the manor. Surely, Feng Ying knew of Hong Ye's hardships. He looked at her sadly. What's fake will always be fake. They will never be real. Tang Yu deserved what she got now. He would never forget how Tang Yu had humiliated Hong Yu before. Manor lady, there's one more thing that I need to inform you about. Feng Ying turned and looked at Feng Ruqing. Tang Yu is dead. Feng Ruqing raised her eyebrows. Did she die so easily? She died because of the great pain. Feng Ying smiled grimly. However, the White Phoenix came yesterday. He had locked Tang Ye's soul inside her corpse. He wanted her to suffer eternal pain. All right. The White Phoenix, is he the State Preceptor's White Phoenix? What about Tang Luo? Both Tang Yu and her father had caused so much pain to my mother. They deserve to die horribly. Tang Luo has gone mad. Tang Luo had indeed gone mad. He had not gone mad only because of how he was tortured in Fengyun Manor. But, there were some existing signs of insanity in him after he knew of the truth that day. He had completely lost his sanity after the tortures he received in Fengyun Manor. He said that he loves the manor master, but he chose to believe his own daughter. He did not even trust the manor master. That kind of person has no right to love our manor master. Feng Ying sneered sarcastically. Tang Luo was the reason behind the manor master's great sufferings. He took the manor master away and erased her memory. But, he could not even protect her well. Even when the manor master had recovered her senses and told him how she was being treated, Tang Luo still did not believe her. This kind of man had no right to talk about love. It's a blessing for him given that he has gone mad. Feng Ruqing sneered. She had only anger and hatred toward both Gu Zhenyang and Tang Luo. But the person she hated the most was Tang Luo. Gu Zhenyang's love was paranoid while Tang Luo's love was maniacal. Both of them deserve to die. They're unforgivable. Chapter 593, The Princess Elopes with the Palace Maid 3. Feng Rooking's hard stare softened. Then, she asked, "Do you know of any Qin family in the reclusive world?" Qin. Feng looked on blankly. The reclusive world is big. The influence and power of the Qin family are strong. I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Then, go and investigate someone for me. He is called Qin Chen. Unknowingly, Feng Ruqing could not stop thinking about Qin Chen after he had left. She was unsure if he was still safe. She was worried about him. "All right, manor lady," Feng replied. "If there's nothing more, you can take your leave now." Feng Ruqing's eyes darkened. She did not know whether she would be able to find out more about Qin Chen just by relying on the Fengyun clan. It seemed that she needed to get help from Paramount. "All right." Feng paid his respect and left the manor obediently. Feng Ruqing stretched her body lazily. Then, she lay on the chair comfortably. Her eyes curved into a crescent. She smiled and looked at the young girls in front of her. "By the way, what can you do?" The girls looked at each other and they did not say anything in response. "Do you know how to play any musical instrument?" "No." "Do you know how to sing or draw?" "We don't know how to do that either." Feng Ruqing was stunned. "Then, what do you know?" Hong Yu was silent for a short while. "Does it count that we know how to beat people up?" Feng Ruqing was speechless. It seemed that the palace maids from Fengyun Manor were only warriors. Feng Ruqing thought for a short while. "Then, do you know how to take care of children?" "Take care of children?" Hong Yu was shocked. "Is manor lady pregnant?" "Whose child is that?" "Does the manor master know about that?" "Mother." A soft voice came from the entrance of the manor. Feng Ruqing turned and looked at the source of the voice. She soon saw that Fu Chen was holding Qin Han's hand. They were entering the manor through the entrance of the manor. At last, Fu Chen was willing to stroll around the place while she was having her cultivation session. But, he was being naughty only in front of Feng Ruqing and Qin Han. He always acted like an adult in front of others. He always wore a serious face. "Mother, are these cute elder sisters new here?" Qin Han let go of Fu Chen's hand and threw herself into Feng Ruqing's embrace. "Why do they have the same small freckles as the girl outside? Are they sick?" "The girl who sold us mantis jelly had no freckles. But, there were freckles on her face now. The same also happened to the girl who sold the bean curd jelly on the next street. Maybe." Feng Ruqing patted Qin Han's small head. Then, she looked at Hong Yu. "Do you know how to look after kids?" Hong Yu seemed awkward and helpless. "Manor lady does have children. But these two kids are so cute and likable. Maybe I can, mother." Fu Chen walked toward Feng Ruqing and stood beside her. He pouted. "I can take good care of Qin Han." Feng Ruqing rubbed her own temples. "I heard that you burnt down Lu Manor again when you went out with Sui yesterday." Lu Manor was burnt down by Feng Ruqing's cousin and Tang Yin before. They had rebuilt it again not long ago. But Shaoqing burnt that down too. Now, they had rebuilt their manor for only half a month. But, it was burnt down again. It seemed that the Lu family could never rebuild their manor again in this lifetime. Fu Chen was stunned. Qin Han persuaded Sui to do that. "Did you beat Lu Yuchen up the day before yesterday?" Feng Ruqing continued her interrogation. Fu Chen was quiet for a short while. Qin Han saw that Lu Yuchen was sneaking around the princess manor again. Thus, she persuaded Sui to do that too. "You pushed Lady Lu into the pond and made her drink the water there the day before yesterday, didn't you?" It was Qin Han who told me that Lu Yuchen's mother scolded her before. So, we asked Sui. Chapter 594, The Princess Elopes with the Palace Maid 4, When did she scold Qin Han? Fu Chen was quiet again. Then, he replied, Qin Han said that Lady Lu scolded her in her own heart, so, now do you understand why I need to arrange for somebody to take care of you? Feng Ruqing rubbed at her temples. She felt a headache coming. She thought that Sui would take good care of those two children. But, who knew that the imperial city would become so chaotic these past few days? She was afraid that Sui would behave like Qin Han one day. Sui would treat the villains as snacks and she would end up with a stomachache. Then, who else would suffer other than Sui herself? Princess, princess. Just at that moment, Qingling ran toward Feng Ruqing excitedly. There was a happy glow on her face. There were bright smiles on her face. Lady Lu and Tan Shuangshuang got into a fight. Tan Shuangshuang was seriously beaten and now the local authorities have gone to resolve the fight. Feng Ruqing was stunned. Her body was frozen upright because of the shock. She was confused. They got into a fight. Doesn't Lu Yuchen's mother favor Tan Shuangshuang? They did get into a fight. Qingling was excited. I heard that Lu Fuyong sided with Tan Shuangshuang and slapped Lady Lu when Lady Lu was teaching Tan Shuangshuang a lesson the other day. So, Lady Lu was jealous of her. Then, she got into a fight with Tan Shuangshuang when Lu Fuyong was not around in the manor. Feng Ruqing was even more surprised now. Doesn't the previous chancellor dislike Tan Shuangshuang? Princess, Lu Fuyong disliked Tan Shuangshuang before because he did not want her to marry Lu Yuchen. Qingling smiled happily. He always loves influence and power. He looked down on Tan Shuangshuang before because she had no status and influence. But, now that the Lu family has lost its power and influence now. So, they are the same as Tan Shuangshuang. Moreover, Tan Shuangshuang is beautiful. It's possible that they have feelings for each other after much time spent together in the manor. Tan Shuangshuang was never married to Lu Yuchen and she had no relation with the Lu family. So, Lu Fuyong was technically not falling for his son's woman. Feng Ruqing's eyes narrowed. It seems that there are quite a lot of incidents in the Lu family recently that I have no clue about that. That's for sure. Qingling seems proud. I always keep a close eye on the Lu family. I just want to see when they will get their retribution. In fact, Feng Ruqing never liked the Lu family. But, she also did not have much hatred toward them. She could not be bothered about them as long as they did not offend her first. She was not soft-hearted. She would not bother about them because she never took notice of them. It was fine to her if the Lu family never liked her. She just wanted to be loved and liked by the state preceptor. She was not bothered by others' perceptions of her. She only disliked Tan Shuangshuang, but it was nothing like her hatred toward Feng Ruqing. After all, it was the previous owner who had interfered with the relationship between Lu Yuchen and Tan Shuangshuang first. So, it was understandable that Tan Shuangshuang hated her. So, she gave several opportunities to Tan Shuangshuang after she came here. She had even ignored them for several times. She would never have given her 200 beatings if Tan Shuangshuang had not offended her so much. Unfortunately, the Tan family would never have lost its power and influence if Tan Shuangshuang had not offended her so much. I have nothing to do with the Lu family anymore after I have divorced Lu Yuchen the other day. I don't care much about whatever happens to them in the future. Feng Ruqing laughed unimpressively. She did not care about the Lu family. But they deserved what had happened to them now. But, Feng Ruqing tapped her chin and she smiled happily. I never thought that Lu Fuyong and Tan Shuangshuang would come down to this point. Did Lady Lu not bring this upon herself? The people from Paramount told me about that. A few families have joined forces. Recently, a few spirit beasts are in trouble too. They are picked and captured by the families. Numerous families from the reclusive world joining forces were bad news for the forest of spirit beasts. But Enriching did not understand why the families joined forces in order to capture the spirit beasts all of a sudden. It did not affect Enriching if they were only interested in the king of the spirit beasts. But there were too many spirit beasts that she had hired from the forest of spirit beasts. There were even spirit herbs that she had cultivated there. Although she used hidden tactical formation for every spirit herb there and those spirit herbs looked just like normal herbs, she could not sit there and do nothing because all the other spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts were being hunted. Which are the clans that have joined forces? Are the Divine Herbs sect, Shinyao Manor, and Deity's Gate one involved in this? Qingling shook her head. Qingling and Luli knew more about the reclusive world since they often went to Paramount to run some errands for the princess. I'm not sure. The people of Paramount did not mention that. They might not be involved. Chapter 596, The Princess Elopes with the Palace Maid 6. If those three clans joined forces, the other clans might not be daring enough to compete with them. But I heard from the people of Paramount that the king of spirit beasts, which they want to capture, is a black dragon. A black dragon. Fu Chen suddenly raised his small head. He clenched his fists. Black dragon. Little Black. It's impossible. The Divine Herbs sect was destroyed. Little Black protected them and ensured that they had escaped safely. It's dead. Fu Chen's eyes darkened slightly. The only other creature closest to them other than the Ninth Emperor in the Divine Herbs sect 1,000 years ago was Little Black. But the Ninth Emperor had gone missing and Little Black was dead. Black. Qing Han turned her head to the side and asked with uncertainty, "Is it Big Doggy?" Fu Chen endured the pain in his heart. He patted Qing Han's head. "It's not Big Doggy." "Fine." Qing Han pouted in disappointment. "I thought that Big Doggy is back." Enriching blinked and there was a sneer on her face. "It seems like I need to go to the forest of spirit beasts this time. Qing Han, you and Luli need to stay here. Hongyu, go and prepare yourself. Later, we'll head to the forest of spirit beasts." Qing Han threw herself at Enriching and hugged Enriching's leg. "Mother, I want to go too." Fu Chen did not say anything but looked at Enriching eagerly. "Fine. It's better if I bring along these two mischievous fellows with me. If not, they'll surely make trouble everywhere they go. Moreover, there's Siyi who pampers Qing Han to the point where she allows Qing Han to create trouble everywhere she goes. I'm worried about that. I don't want the imperial city to be burned down when I return." Also, Enriching was quiet for a short while. "Don't allow Lu Yuchen to get near the Princess Manor when I'm not home. If he dares to burn down the Princess Manor, go ahead and beat him up." Qing Ling's eyes brightened. "All right, Princess. I can see through Lu Yuchen's evil thoughts. His eyes are wicked. I think that he not only wants to burn the Princess Manor down but he also wants to steal your spirit herbs in the back hill." Enriching was speechless. She felt that Lu Yuchen was unknowingly quite dangerous. Then, don't allow him to be within 20 zhangs of the Princess Manor. If he dares to take even one step closer, just throw him out. If you cannot beat him, get some spirit beasts to bite him for you. All right, Princess. Qing Ling smiled happily after listening to the princess' order. She had hated Lu Yuchen since a long time ago. The princess has just divorced him. He doesn't have to plan evil plots against the Princess Manor all the time. He's quite vengeful. It's dreadful. Hongyu, let's go. I want to see which person it is who dares to capture my spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts. Call Beery and Beery too. Let Snow Wolf stay here and guard the manor. Snow Wolf howled in protest. Why do you ask me to guard the manor? Why? I'm not a dog. My son's mother is still in the forest of spirit beasts. Why do I have to stay here and guard the house? Enriching was not bothered by the Snow Wolf. She not only had to worry about the danger of being crushed and also the danger of incoming swords from the sky which would cut off the Snow Wolf's head if she brought it along. She had no choice. The Snow Wolf was unlucky. It would be attacked even if it walked on the road without doing anything. So, she had to make it stay at the manor. At the southern bamboo grove. The azure snake slithered toward the man. It raised its head and looked at the man who was sitting with his back against the snake itself. The man seemed calm and handsome. It looked like he would not react even if the sky fell down. Master, Shao Qing was hesitant for a short while. The palace maids are sent to the princess manor. Is it okay if we don't stop it? Chapter 597. The princess elopes with the palace maids. 7. Nan Xian said calmly, no need. Why? Didn't master say that you won't allow palace maids to enter the princess manor anymore? Shao Qing did not understand the situation. At first, master made a fuss after Fengyun Manor had sent palace maids to Luyun Kingdom. He wanted to force them back to Fengyun Manor. But master did nothing when he saw the palace maids. Yes. Nan Xian smiled calmly. I saw their faces. And Qing'er only likes beautiful people. Qing Zhu was quiet. Male snakes had the ability to identify the beauty of female snakes. For them, the humans looked just the same. But Qing Zhu replied weakly, I saw that the princess eloping with the palace maids just now. The princess has abandoned you. At that moment, the air around them froze. Although Qing Zhu was a cold-blooded animal, it still felt cold and it started to tremble. It looked at the man in front of it, fearfully. What did you say? Qing Zhu trembled vigorously. But it was still brave and stubborn. It finished its report stoically. The princess has eloped with the palace maids. They have left the imperial city. The princess has abandoned you, master. Nan Xian was no longer calm. His mood had changed. A white figure moved very quickly. He grabbed the tail of the snake with one hand and disappeared into the quiet and serene southern bamboo grove. At the Divine Herbs sect. The master gazed steadily at the elder below him in the Divine Herbs sect. Sect master, the beast master of the forest of spirit beasts seems to have made a breakthrough. It has even started a riot there. It looks like it's searching for somebody. Don't we have to do something? We can still capture it and bring it back to keep it even if we don't kill it. Dragons and phoenixes were considered rare spirit beasts in this land. Did Xinyu Manor and Deity's Gate do anything about this? Master asked calmly. The elder was quiet for a moment. Both of them did nothing. Then, we don't have to do anything. The black dragon is of the lowest tier among the dragon species. Its potential is low, but its strength is quite attractive for the other families. But it's useless for us. The master said with a smile. The elder was stunned. But there's a record in the ancient book of the Divine Herbs sect. It mentions that the black dragon was the guardian spirit beast of the Divine Herbs sect 1,000 years ago. It's different. The master shook his head. The previous guardian spirit beast of the Divine Herbs sect was not a black dragon but a spirit dragon. A spirit dragon. Yes. It was not a true spirit beast but it was formed with the surrounding spiritual qi. It was not a dragon but it was the only one in this world. It had disappeared and there are no more spirit dragons. How could a black dragon be compared to a spirit dragon? The black dragon is the weakest kind in the dragon family. It's too worthless to be my spirit beast. You can leave now. Those two families are not even bothered about it. So, we don't have to do anything for the black dragon. The master smiled softly. Moreover, there will be a war soon at the Forest of Spirit Beasts. We don't have to join their fight. We will just sit here and watch their fight. Furthermore, the master's eyes narrowed. The other families went there not only to capture the black dragon. Although the black dragon is the most worthless kind of dragon, it won't bow down to the humans because of the arrogance of the dragon. But, I heard that the other families had captured quite a lot of spirit beasts in the Forest of Spirit Beasts. Chapter 598, The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts. There's a possibility of taming ordinary spirit beasts. But, it's impossible to tame the dragons and phoenixes. You need to understand that. However, they were unable to slaughter or capture the spirit beasts in the Forest of Spirit Beasts these past few years because of the existence of the Beastmaster. They could only capture some spirit beasts at the outer circle of the Forest of Spirit Beasts. The master stopped talking for a while. Then, he continued, we don't know what happened there when the black dragon made a breakthrough. It is weak but it still dares to start a riot there to the point where all the other clans intend to join forces to kill it. If the black dragon is dead, the fate of the Forest of Spirit Beasts will be in the hands of humans. The spirit beasts will become pets and machines for humans. So, the Divine Herbs sect did not have to join in the fight. I understand now. The elder greeted the master and said respectfully, but, is it true that we don't have to avenge Gu Zhenyang? The master's facial expression changed at Gu Zhenyang's name. That goddamn bastard. I have punished him once and he is so daring as to attack the secular world. Let's not talk about avenging him yet. Who should we even get revenge from? If you're able to kill Nan Xian, why don't you go? I definitely won't go. The master would never allow anybody to humiliate the Divine Herbs sect if the offender was an ordinary person. But, the master was afraid of Nan Xian's strength and power. Much less go and look for trouble. Is life too easy now? The elder's lips twitched. Eventually, he did not say anything more. The Forest of Spirit Beasts was different from the humans' kingdoms. It was a world that belonged to the spirit beasts only. There were rarely any humans entering the Forest of Spirit Beasts in the past. There was not even a person who destroyed its peace. But, the Forest of Spirit Beasts was different now. It was no longer peaceful. The unwelcome intruders from the humans' kingdoms came, intruding the spirit beasts' peaceful lives. They brought wars into the Forest of Spirit Beasts. A loud roar was heard. A few pairs of angry eyes glared at those eager humans. Their skin and fur were stained with fresh blood. Their skins were torn open. The spirit beasts were whipped heavily and their blood gushed out with every beating. They did not understand what they had done wrong. They had always obeyed the rules of the world and had never left the Forest of Spirit Beasts. So, why did the humans never let them go? This Silver Leopard King is powerful. It's a Tier 5 spirit beast. We can slaughter and eat the other spirit beast. But, well, bring this Silver Leopard King back. Well, tame it. That's right. This Forest of Spirit Beasts should never exist in the first place. The spirit beasts should become our pets. We can destroy the Forest of Spirit Beasts this time. It'll never exist from now on. Their waves of laughter were manic and arrogant. Their facial expressions were twisted. A young silver leopard howled sadly. It watched its family members being slaughtered. Its heart was filled with deep pain and grief. We will correct our mistakes if we have done anything wrong. We'll never leave the forest of spirit beasts or our home in this lifetime. But, tell us what we've done wrong. Why did you slaughter our family? Why do you look down on us? Pain. Hatred. Numerous emotions filled the hearts of the silver leopards. The seeds of hatred grew deeply in their hearts when they saw their family members being slaughtered. But the silver leopard king was the only powerful spirit beast there. The other silver leopards were useless in the eyes of the powerful humans. Chapter 599, The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts. Night fell. It seemed like the whole of the forest of spirit beasts was stained with blood and the air was filled with the scent of blood. The silver leopards fell into a deep pit of despair. They resisted vigorously but still, they could not escape the fate of being slaughtered. The humans did not kill the silver leopards immediately. They used their thorny whips to whip the silver leopards. Their skins were torn. The humans even laughed happily at that. The silver leopard king could not endure the attacks of numerous humans. It trembled and it fell down onto the ground. Fresh blood rushed into its eyes and its vision was blurred. But, it still turned its head and looked at its remaining family members with determination. The silver leopards howled, hoarsely. It was loud and clear in the windy forest. The howl lingered in the air. Elder, it seems that this silver leopard king is almost done. I've prepared the cage. Let's put it in the cage and tame it when we're back. A youth brought along a cage and some money. He looked at the silver leopard coldly. The silver leopard seemed worthless to him. It was only a pet to humans. After all, those spirit beasts were the same as ordinary humans. They were used only for entertainment purposes. But, there was a rule in the reclusive world. They could not attack the secular world. So, they had never done so. A loud howl was heard. The youngest silver leopard suddenly rushed forward and bit the youth. Its eyes were deadly and those eyes were filled with deep hatred. The silver leopard was a type of leopard that did not like to fight. So, they never thought of attacking humans. They still wanted to live a peaceful life even though the humans harmed them first. But, humans' hearts were more frightening than hell. The silver leopards loved peace but they were forced to attack the humans and resist their attacks. But, the youngest silver leopard did not understand the situation. Why? Why do humans still want to harm us given that we're forced to live here in the forest of spirit beasts? We just want to survive. We just want to live on. Is that too much to ask for? Boom! The youth waved his hand and the youngest silver leopard was thrown away like a soccer ball. It hit a tree and soon stopped moving. Its body fell onto the ground slowly, leaving a trail of fresh blood on the ancient tree. Why did you attack the youngest silver leopard? Their leader, a middle-aged man, sneered at the youth. That youngest silver leopard looked cute and it could have been a pet for my daughter. That's why I didn't order anybody to kill it. How could it survive your blow? The youngest silver leopard's body twitched. There was a trail of blood on the corner of its lips. It had a vacant stare. The young leopard had barely enjoyed the beauty of the world. The silver leopard king roared loudly. It forced itself to stand upright. But, its steps were faltering. It looked like an aged elder and was no longer fast and quick. At that moment, its body seemed strong and powerful. It used its large body to shield and guard the silver leopards behind it. It was guarding the remaining silver leopards. Chapter 600, The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts 3. The youth was surprised. It can still move. If so, you go on and kill the other silver leopards first. Their fur is valuable. We can take it down. Their flesh is delicious and nutritious. It should not be wasted. The spirit beasts were valuable. Their entire body could be made for good use. Their sharp teeth were the sharpest weapons in the world. Their furs were adored by numerous girls. Their flesh and meat were delicious and nutritious. Their hearts were valuable too. They could be sold at a good price. So, there was a time when many humans slaughtered the spirit beasts because of their value. The spirit beasts were forced to live in the forest of spirit beasts for survival. A group of beasts could never beat humans. But, humans did not dare to make any reckless actions when the beasts joined forces. It was the reason why the spirit beasts could survive until today. The spirit beasts obeyed the rules obediently. They had never left the forest of spirit beasts to go and harm humans. Similarly, humans had never stepped into the forest of spirit beasts for no reason. They lived in harmony all this while. They had never made a mistake, and the only thing they did wrong was placing their trust in humans. Sometimes, humans' hearts were more frightening than hell. The silver leopard king closed its eyes and it could no longer fight anymore. It still wanted to use its body to endure all the attacks for its family members even though it could no longer hold on. Boom! Suddenly, a strong force came from not far away. The youth's heart was speared with a sharp knife when he came to stand in front of the silver leopard king. The fresh blood gushed out and stained his clothes. His eyes were wide open. He fell backward slowly. He fell down with a muffled noise and the dirt was thrown up. The silver leopard king raised its head weakly. It looked in the direction of where the attack had come from and it saw a girl rushing toward them. There was no word to describe the girl who led the incoming group. There were two strong bears next to the girl. The bears acted as guardians to the girl. They stayed on each of her sides closely. The facial expression of the middle-aged man changed. He turned slowly and his gaze fell on the girl's face. She was a captivating beauty. He was supposed to be angry, but his frustration disappeared the minute he saw the beauty of the girl. He was smiling. "May I know which family are you from?" "Im Xiaoying." "Are you here to capture the spirit beasts?" "If you want, I will let you have the silver leopard king. If you're willing, can we be friends?" Hong Yu was infuriated. She attacked Xiaoying. Then, she scolded, "How dare you? Be polite toward manner lady." The middle-aged man leaned to the side and dodged the attack. He narrowed his eyes and seemed to give off a sense of danger. "You're at intermediate dark warrior tier. This girl with freckles is a dark warrior. She has a dark warrior as her guardian. Her family's status might be the same as my Xiao family." Feng Ruqing was not bothered about the middle-aged man. She walked slowly toward the silver leopard king. The silver leopard king raised its head weakly and stared at Feng Ruqing with extreme difficulty. It seemed to be guarded. Who knows what this girl's intention is? "Can you still fight?" The young girl's voice was extremely gentle. It was like a stream of love entering its heart. The previous silver leopard king would surely put down its guard when it was faced with this kind of friendly and gentle human. Chapter 601, 601. But the silver leopards were facing the danger of extinction that day. Sponsored content, it had a deep fury toward the humans and it could trust the humans anymore. "It seems that you're unable to stand up." Feng Ruqing held out her palm and she seemed determined. "Eat this and avenge yourself." "What?" The silver leopard looked at the purple fruit on Feng Ruqing's palm in shock. The fruit contained a deep and powerful spiritual qi. It was like a thread that controlled all of the silver leopard's thoughts. At last, the silver leopard could not control its urge, and it might be because of the powerful spiritual qi. The silver leopard opened its mouth and ate the fruit. Powerful spiritual chi entered the silver leopard's body and its injured body was slowly healed. The silver leopard king was confused. It helplessly looked at the beautiful face in front of it. It was still doubtful. Sponsored content. Don't humans intend to kill all of the spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts? Why did she save me? Why did she pull me out of a deep pit of despair when I've lost all hope toward humanity? Purple Dragon King Fruit. Xiaoying frowned slightly. Young girl, do you know what you're doing? We've spent quite a lot of effort and time to hunt down the Silver Leopard King. Why are you saving it now? We must tame it even if you save it. Feng Ruqing turned around slowly. She was expressionless and she seemed calm. It's because I own this forest of spirit beast. All of the spirit beasts here belong to me. Xiaoying squinted. Do you know what you're talking about? Feng Ruqing did not bother to respond to Xiaoying's question. She turned and looked at the Silver Leopard King. Can you stand up now? The Silver Leopard King stood up. Its back was straight and it stood upright. Sponsored content just like how it used to. But the hatred in its heart did not disappear. It glared at the people from the Xiao family. There was a deep fury in its eyes. It roared loud and clear. It soon rushed toward Xiaoying after the thunderous roar. It flashed its fierce and sharp teeth at Xiaoying. Xiaoying's expression changed drastically. At first, he was infatuated with the young girl's beauty. Now, he was infuriated with her. Young girl, do you know what you're doing now? You're going against the reclusive world. Fighting against the reclusive world. Feng Ruqing sneered. I'm not fighting against the reclusive world. It's you who is going against me first. Feng Ruqing found many injured or dead spirit beasts on her way there. The spirit herbs planted by the spirit beasts were destroyed too. So, she was not going against the reclusive world. But, she was going to destroy the whole of the reclusive world. Feng Ruqing was sad. She was saddened by the fact that the spirit beasts were slaughtered in their own homes. She was also grieving to find that the spirit herbs were ruined. Luckily, she had used the formation beforehand so that her spirit herbs were only ruined but not snatched away from her. There might be other more powerful families that were attracted there by the spirit beasts in the forest of spirit beasts. Biri too, go and help it. Sponsored content. A loud roar was heard. Biri too roared once. Then, it swung its powerful fists and rushed toward Xiaoying. It beat Xiaoying up. Xiaoying dodged the attack swiftly and he successfully dodged Biri too's first attack. But, there was a leopard in front of him and a bear behind him. He could not tackle their attacks as easily as before. Soon, he was defeated. The people from the Xiao family wanted to join the fight but they were soon stopped by the palace maids from Fengyun Manor. Manor lady, this young leopard is still alive. Hongyu picked up the young leopard lying under the tree. She could still feel its weak breathing. She brought it to Feng Ruqing. Chapter 602, The Plight of the Forest of Spirit Beasts v. But, that young leopard was seriously injured. It could not be healed with only spirit herbs. Fortunately, Feng Ruqing had foreseen what would happen in the forest of spirit beasts. So, she had made proper preparations. She carefully took out a bottle. There was some kind of greenish soup in that bottle. She put the bottle near the young leopard's mouth. She forced its mouth open and fed it the spirit soup. The young leopard was still conscious. It swallowed a big mouthful of the liquid. After a long time, the silver leopard opened its eyes. At that moment, a beautiful face was reflected on the silver leopard's emerald green eyes. It could not recover its senses. Mother, it seems like I've met God. Humans were much more frightening than hell, but it did not apply to all the humans in the world. Things always came in pairs. There were both good and bad things in this world. Hongyu, it's fine now. Take care of it. Feng Ruqing put the young leopard in Hongyu's care. Then, she scanned the state of the other silver leopards. She sighed softly. All of the other silver leopards were lying on the ground. They had lost their breaths. She could not save all of them no matter how strong her spirit herbal dishes were. Biri lay on the ground and cried desperately. The forest of spirit beasts was its first home. It was born there. But, its home had changed drastically now. It was no longer what it used to be. There were so many deaths. Biri could not help but feel depressed. Biri too was a Tier 5 spirit beast. Xiaoying was soon defeated by Biri too. He vomited a mouthful of blood and he glared at Feng Ruqing. Who are you exactly? These spirit beasts are nothing but pets and machines. Why can't I kill them? Feng Ruqing turned and looked at Xiaoying slowly. Yes, that's right, me for extra chapters. She stopped talking for a while. Then, she continued, so, you'll be a pet to the spirit beasts if your strength is not powerful. You think that you're so much stronger than the spirit beasts and they could only be kept as pets to you. If they could not be kept as pets, you want to tear their skin open, pull out their teeth and even want to eat their flesh. But, you'll become a pet to them in the end when you're unable to beat the spirit beasts. Xiaoying wanted to move but all of a sudden several vines appeared from underneath him and entangled his body. He was firmly tied. He looked in the direction from where the vines had appeared. He soon saw a young girl who came out from nowhere. Her face was beautiful and pinkish. But, she seemed angry. Her voice was soft and naive. All of you are villains. How dare you bully the spirit beasts? I'm quite fierce. I don't allow you to bully them. The silver leopard king bit into Xiaoying's neck. Xiaoying trembled and he soon lost his breath. I want to ask you something. Feng Ruqing saw that the spirit beasts were saved. She did not want to linger there. She asked the silver leopard king directly, did you see the three-striped tiger? I went to its cave and I did not find it there. Do you know where it has gone? Three-striped tiger. The silver leopard king shook its head helplessly. The silver leopards never liked to fight with others. So, they rarely mingled with the other spirit beasts. Hence, it did not know where the other spirit beasts had escaped to. Fu Qin, can you locate the three-striped tiger? Feng Ruqing rubbed her temples. She was anxious. Where did little tiger's mother go? Although there was a contract between them, the contract only gave Feng Ruqing the privilege to have her orders obeyed by them. But, it did not have any other restrictions. She could not locate the three-striped tiger with the help of the contract. Mother, there's a place in this forest I cannot reach with my mental power. But, that place is huge. I'm not sure whether little tiger's mother is there. Fu Qin shook his head and said, sadly. Chapter 603, if that's the case, we will go and poke around there, who knows maybe we can find it there. Sponsored content. Okay, mother. All these silver leopards seem to be fine now. Hongyu put down the little leopard from her arms and followed Feng Ruqing to go deeper into the forest. However, Feng Ruqing stopped walking after quite a distance. You guys don't have to follow me, go and find another place to live and survive. This place is not very safe. All the silver leopards stopped. They were staring at Feng Ruqing, all the while. However, as Feng Ruqing started to move again, all the silver leopards started to follow her again. Mother. Fu Qin tugged Feng Ruqing's hands. They want to follow you because they think you have saved their lives. Don't the silver leopards like to be in a quiet place? The place that I want to go is not quiet, also that place could also be more dangerous than it is here. Sponsored content, but... Fu Qin frowned anxiously. All of these silver leopards just wanted to follow her. With an elegant and robust pace, the silver leopard king came from the side, toward Feng Ruqing stood in front of her. It brought its knees to the ground and bowed down low until its forehead touched the ground as if it was worshipping her. Mother, what it wishes is that it wants you to be the king of silver leopards. Feng Ruqing did not know what to say. She had just dropped by the forest of spirit beasts, but suddenly, she had become the king of the leopard. Sponsored content also, they won't leave if you don't agree to keep them with you. The spirit beasts are always stubborn and inflexible. If they have decided on something, they will never change their minds. Feng Ruqing looked at all these silver leopards, which were staring at her. Her heart eventually softened. Do you know? I've come to know a lot of people, but the more people you know, the more I prefer those loyal animals. There was a saying in Huaxia, the more people you know, the more you're like a dog. That was her situation, previously. Other than Cheer, whom she relied her life upon and who had relied upon her as well, all the people she came across, had always, just hurt her. Even though she had come to Tsangyu mainland, all the people who followed her were kind enough for her to trust and like them. However, her affection towards spirit beasts never abated. The spirit beasts were very genuine. For the spirit beasts, evil was evil, good was good, and they would never intrigue each other. Also, if you were kind to them, they would repay you for the rest of their lives. It's okay if you guys want to follow me, but every one of you has to listen to my words. The silver leopard king straightened its body and nodded. Chapter 604. It felt so angry as soon as it thought of all these things. Sponsored content, it'll continue to shower and wait for her. Wake me up when she arrives. The black dragon turned over as it closed its eyes. The dragon, which was completely different from the outside world's rumors, it was not miserable as claimed as it was calmly enjoying the spirit beast's massage. Mother, this should be the place. Fu Qin tugged at Feng Ruqing's hand and stopped walking. I can't feel anything since we've arrived here. If the little tiger's mother hasn't left the forest of spirit beasts and it's still alive, it should be inside that place. Okay. Feng Ruqing caressed her chin and turned around to look at the troop of spirit beasts. Sponsored content at the moment, there were many spirit beasts standing behind her. Silver leopard, dark cattle, fire fox, purple-eyed rabbit, two-headed snake. It was so crowded that the spirit beasts were spread out as far that her eyes could see, as if there was no end. Besides, there was a tree among the spirit beasts. Yes. A tree ant. Feng Ruqing only started to realize that there was an ancient tree that had evolved after she had reached the deeper part of the forest of spirit beasts. This tree did not seem to belong to the spirit beasts but was a kind of spirit herb. After all, the coolest thing about this tree was that it could bear fruit. The fruit it bore was not only sweet and juicy, but it could also provide some spiritual qi too. When the humans were attacking this ancient tree, before Feng Ruqing came and fight against the humans, the spirit beasts that Feng Ruqing had saved before had already started to fight back to protect the tree. However, sponsored content, what made Feng Ruqing really curious was, it was apparent that they had reached the deeper part of the forest of spirit beasts, but still, the most powerful spirit beast she had come across was only tier 5. As for the tier 6 spirit beasts and stronger spirit beasts, she had not seen any of it, she did not know where had they gone. The tree ant shook another fruit down from its tree branch and quickly handed it to Feng Ruqing with a smile. Feng Ruqing paused for a while before she said, I'm full. The tree ant had given her a lot of fruits throughout the journey, which made her feel like throwing up whenever she saw or ate a fruit. The tree ant scratched its head and picked a little flower off of itself and handed it to Feng Ruqing. Enriching received it and touched the tree ant's little branches, smilingly. Suddenly, Beery turned to look at them. To put it in Brother Wolf's words, this tree was such a cunning Jezebel as it flattered their master in front of all their buddies. That was unbearable. Therefore, Beery bit off a clump of hair from its body and clumsily rushed in front of Enriching, wishing to give that hair as a gift to her. Enriching was speechless as he saw the hair that Beery gave her. She thought for a while and said, "You should keep yourself further away from the snow wolf." Beery did not say anything. "At first, I thought you looked gentle and honest, but then you're as cunning as a fox. Now, your IQ has been influenced by little Wolfie as it's getting lower and lower." Beery looked at her blankly. Master was pleased as the tree ant plucked a flower from its body and handed it to her. It also plucked some hair from its body, but why did Master not like it? Well, all in all, that tree was a scheming Jezebel. Sponsored content. As for all the other spirit beasts, when they looked at the tree ant, they seemed envious and angry too. The tree ant did not care about that. It shook its leaves as it was smiling cunningly. Well, a troop of spirit beasts that were already low in their IQ and were not old enough, they would never be better than a tree that had lived for hundreds of years and finally evolved into an elf. The air that it had breathed in was way more than the things they had seen. It's a little late, let's keep going. Enriching put the flower into the medium with a smile. The fruit on the tree was a spirit herb, so this flower was one kind of spirit herbs too. Otherwise, back then, there would not be so many forces trying to take over this tree or craving for this tree. If that master's wife did not exist, she would not have to hide here and there, for having any proper social status or position. Xiao Yao, you know it well that the three-striped tiger is stronger. Why don't you give me the three-striped tiger? I'll leave the rest to you. The corners of the lips of the Green Gate's master, Qing Shan, lifted up in a sneer. Sponsored content. His eyes were flooded with a sense of disdain. Xiao Yao slightly frowned and said, "I must take away this three-striped tiger. Soon it will be my wife's birthday, I'll give her this three-striped tiger." As Xiao Yao said that, he did not notice the hatred within Xian's lowered eyes. Why could his wife get the three-striped tiger while she could only get the cub? A woman who basically had no virtue, was she even qualified to contend with Xian? Ha! Qing Shan chuckled, hysterically. It's quite unexpected for you to bear your wife in mind. Back then, you were roaming the streets before the Talon's Gate master adopted you. He had set you up for life and also taught you about cultivation. However, not long after he had transferred his position to you, you bring another woman along with you. TSK. I wonder if your wife is aware of this. Chapter 606. Xiao Yao smiled and said, "She won't ever know." Sponsored content. He was always prudent, so he would never let her know about Xian. If it were not because Xian had begged him for a long time, he would not have brought her along. Aren't you afraid that we will tell her? Qing Shan squinted. Xiao Yao laughed louder. I will tell her in advance that because you guys failed to get the three-striped tiger from me, you guys are trying to drive a wedge between us. She will believe in me and never believe in you guys, anyway. He knew well that he owed all of his achievements to his wife. Besides, his father-in-law was still alive and had only retreated to a quiet place to cultivate. So, he had passed the Talon's Gate to Xiao Yao. Therefore, although he was already the Talon's Gate master, or had even reached advanced Dark Warrior tier, he would not simply take a new concubine. Or else, the tigress at home would fight the concubine to death. Sponsored content. Everything was fine as his father-in-law did not break through to another tier after all these years. However, if he advanced into another tier and returned from his cultivation, then Xiao Yao would be doomed. Therefore, even if he liked Xian, he must still prioritize his wife. Humph. Qing Shan's face was pale. Today, I must get the three-striped tiger. Nobody will get it from me. Well, you may try. As soon as Xiao Yao finished speaking, he squinted, and suddenly, a violent gust of wind struck at Qing Shan. Dang! Two swords collided in the air as a massive force exploded. The trees surrounding them were uprooted row by row in the pattern of the force's ripple effect from the impact. Sponsored content. A Green Gates member had received Qing Shan's command and stepped forward immediately. The long sword in the member's hand was pointed at Xian, who was standing not far away. There was no way for Xian to fight against the people from the reclusive world. She could only helplessly watch the opponent's long sword coming toward her, aimed at her eyes. Xiao Yao really liked Xian, too. Just as he was about to save her from the Green Gates member trying to attack Xian, a figure suddenly came from not far away and stood in front of Xian. Swoosh! The long sword slashed the youth's shoulder as blood continuously oozed out and stained his shirt red. He shivered, almost collapsing. Why is it you? Xian's voice was sharp. Why are you here? Xiao Yao had already stopped fighting and was in front of Xian. He frowned a little and glanced at Qing Yuan, fiercely. You know this person? Xian clenched her fists tightly as her eyes were filled with hatred and resentment. Qing Yuan, don't you ever think that I would appreciate and accept you for saving my life? You're such a disgusting person. How dare you follow me? I have Master to protect me, and I don't need you. She hated him. She hated him of not standing up for her when they were facing Feng Ruqing. She resented him too. She resented him for obeying Feng Ruqing's command in taking the poison. Sponsored content. If he had not taken the poison, he would still be an advanced dark warrior. They would still live a carefree life even if they were not a member of Fengyun Manor. It was Qing Yuan who had forced her to submit to an old man. She would never appreciate him again, no matter how hard he tried to save her. All she felt for him were hatred and resentment. Master. Xian gently laid her weak and boneless body on Xiao Yao's body, and said softly, I've nothing to do with him. He was pursuing me, but I have declined him. I never expected him to tail after me. Master, I've dedicated my whole life and my love to you. Even if he had saved me, I still belong to Master. Xiao Yao finally smiled and touched Xian's buttocks. Chapter 607. For me, I will never accept a woman who's tainted, even if the woman only has affectionate feelings toward a guy before will not be accepted either. It makes me feel sick and dirty, I hope you'll understand. Sponsored content. Xian's blinked at Xiao Yao, shyly. You're the first person I like, and will also be the last. That's only his wishful love, I have never liked him. Qing Yuan's face tightened since the beginning and he looked pale. He slightly lowered his eyes to prevent someone from noticing the sadness in his eyes. I saved you simply because you saved me before. However, you're not the person I know who had saved me anymore. Back then, he could not see the girl who had saved him, clearly, as he was blinded by love. The only thing he remembered was her anxious and caring eyes, which had deeply etched onto his mind, simply unforgettable. After that, when he woke up, he was still in that desolated place, but only Xian was taking care of him. He was grateful for her help. He was also thankful that she took care of him for several months. Therefore, he promised to give her a happy and blessed life forever. However, this girl who was gentle and kind in the past had become so snobbish now. She was not the same girl he used to know. Sponsored content. Qing Yuan pulled his sword out and stabbed it into the ground. He staggered to his feet and headed out of the forest. This time, he owed her nothing anymore. He had already repaid her for saving his life. You want to escape? Xiao Yao squinted. He did not care if Qin Yan had saved Xian, all he knew was that this fellow had something to do with his woman. He could not put up with that. He was very possessive. If something belonged to him, one would not even have to physically taint his property. If they were only thinking about his property in their minds, he would feel that the person had already polluted it. Therefore, sponsored content Xiao Yao quickly summoned a gust of wind from his palms. Bang! Qin Yuan's body was thrown forward as he spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. Qin Shan was shocked too. Qin Shan had always questioned himself whether he, himself, was a good person. However, this youth had saved Xiao Yao's woman. But then, Xiao Yao not only bit Qin Yuan's hands for feeding him, but he also wanted to kill him. Qin Yuan crawled up, trembling. His face was drained of color as he sneered, "Xian, so this is the man you have chosen." He very slowly walked toward Xian. "One day, you will regret your choice." In the end, he relented. He gave up trying to bring up his past with Xian. However, the remorse in his heart was so intense. He regretted falling for Xian, regretted that even when he knew well of her true color, he still could not let go of her. Humph! Xiao Yao snorted coldly as he pulled out a long sword and rushed toward Qin Yuan. Qin Yuan closed his eyes, the long sword moved forward, just like the wind, blowing forward. But, he did not feel the incoming pain that he was expecting even after a long time. He slowly opened his eyes and noticed a figure dressed in white, standing in front of him. The long sword had pierced through her from her back and out from her chest. Just like a blooming rose, her clothes looked bright red as if it was soaked with fresh blood. Sponsored content, you are. Qin Yuan was shocked. His eyes were blank, filled with shock, and he turned pale. Aren't you Yuner, the little servant who serves Xian? Why are you? Why? A gentle breeze swept as the wind blew off the veil on her face before it got stuck on the branch of a tree. It was a terribly ugly face. Her face was full of scars. It was so hideous that not even an inch on her face was without flaw. Just as Qin Yuan met the girl's eyes, he felt as if his heart was smashed by a hammer. It was so painful that he could not remove himself from the pain. Chapter 608. As the woman was falling to the ground, Qin Yuan came to his senses and immediately stepped forward to catch her body. Sponsored content just like a blooming rose, the blood on her chest had stained her clothes red. Qin Yuan's hands were trembling as he desperately pressed his hands against the woman's chest, hoping to stop her from bleeding out. However, the fresh blood was just like the spring water that flowed continuously. No matter how hard he tried, he had no way to stop it from oozing out. Cough! Cough! The white-dressed girl spat out a mouthful of fresh blood. She caressed Qin Yuan's face with her trembling finger, as the corners of her lips lifted into a smile. Finally, she was back by his side again. Although it was quite drastic for her to show up this way, she did not regret it. No, you can't die. Qin Yuan was shivering as his handsome face turned pale. His eyes were filled with deep sorrow. You haven't told me what's going on, you must not die. Tell me, we've met before, haven't we? Sponsored content. The white girl held his hand with her shivering hand. Then, she slowly opened up his palm and used her cold fingertip to trace 3 words on his palm. Slowly, she wrote. However, Qin Yuan's body stiffened more with every word that she traced. He gritted his teeth, and he felt as if many blades were slashing at his heart. The Heartless Mountain. Back then, within the Heartless Mountain, he was hunted by Fengyun Manor's enemies. He was forced to jump off the cliff. The cliff was not high, but there were ferocious beasts at the bottom of the cliff. He would never forget the time when he was at the foot of the Heartless Mountain where many beasts had tried to attack him when a worried figure suddenly stood protectively in front of him. Sponsored content, he could not see that girl's face clearly as he had lost his power. Until now, he still had not forgotten that pair of caring and worried eyes. When he woke up, he saw Xian first, so it was natural for him to regard Xian as that girl. He loved her kindness, her gentleness, and her selfless courage. But now, looking at this hideous face that had shown up before his eyes, his heart prickled with pain. Tears silently flowed down his cheeks and seeped into his mouth, filling it with a taste of bitterness. He had made a mistake. He had mistaken all this while. He had fallen for the wrong person, and had even protected the wrong person. The white-dressed girl tightly held on to Qing Yuan's hand, as her cold fingertip continued to trace words on his palm. 10 years ago, at the foot of a mountain, saved a girl. The corners of the white-dressed girl were still lifted with a gentle smile. She looked ugly, but her eyes were clear and bright. However, her breathing started to slow as she had lost too much blood, and her face had turned pale as well. Just like a fallen leaf, she seemed like she would float away from Qing Yuan's arms any time now. Sponsored content. Qing Yuan's arms, which was carrying the white-dressed girl, trembled. His handsome face was filled with grief. It turned out they were strongly fated since destiny had already brought them together 10 years ago. However, he was ignorant all this time. 10 years ago, I have saved you from those scoundrels and you saved me 1 year ago. We are even, we are literally even. Why do you still try to save me? Why? The youth cried out hysterically. Even the other people present were somehow moved. The white-dressed girl gently held on to his hand and lovingly traced the last words in his palm. Because I like you. Because I like you, so I saved you from those ferocious beasts 1 year ago, not caring about all the danger.